upset at myself. Yesterday, I was driving to the gym and I saw someone broken down on the side of the road and the lights were off. So I was like, maybe he needs a jump. I keep a jumper box in the car just in case. So I turn around. I knock on the window. Guy comes out, says, I don't have AAA. I can't tow it, but the battery's dead. And he was fucking around with the spark plugs or something. He said he changed some stuff on the car. And by the rat nest in there, I thought, this thing ain't starting with a jump. So I connect my jumper cable thing, jump box. It doesn't start. Try like 4 times, doesn't start. Crank, 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 boom, dead. And then the jumper box is dead. From the last time I helped somebody, I didn't charge it apparently because I'm dumb. So it died, and then I was like, well, I'm sorry, man, good luck. And then I went to the gym. And then as I'm coming back from the gym, as I'm headed to the freeway, I see he's still on the side of the road, stuck. And I had plugged the charger into the jumper box, and I'm looking and it's still blinking on the first dot. So it didn't charge for shit. And I was like, well, there's nothing else I could do. And then just went home. And then I'm laying in bed about to go to sleep. And I'm like the last thing I do before I go to sleep is pray. Or I say, thank you, God, at least. I'm not sure I know how to pray. And I was like, why the fuck didn't I tow the guy's car? Like, he was sitting there at night and he didn't have a sweater or nothing. And he clearly didn't have the money to fix this fucking thing. And, like, I genuinely believe that this is the type of charity we're supposed to do. And I don't know where the fuck my head's at. Could have helped another human being last night and I fucked up. So I am upset at myself. Anyways, all week I wake up around 5 in the morning. And then when I open my YouTube this morning, C.S. Lewis says if you wake up between 3 and 5 in the morning, it means God's trying to talk to you. Why God doesn't just speak English or like appear in my dreams or something, I don't know. And I usually have, well, like it makes sense. Like sometimes I have profound thoughts or realizations, or I figure out something that's been keeping me stuck. Like a lot of work problems I figure out around. It's like when I just assumed, I just assumed without distractions you get clarity. But maybe that is what God is. No. So um, I had this realization last night about um, what our subconscious mind does when we are interacting with people, or specifically when we're dating people, is that we date people that are meant to give us a lesson about ourselves, teach us something about ourselves. So, I mean, my dating history is a fucking nightmare. But in each scenario, there was something I was learning about myself. So I talked about going to like a spiritual meeting or something, and this lady was saying how she called her daughter, the daughter didn't pick up, and she started panicking, and she thought, why am I panicking? Well, it's because I need my daughter to validate my worth. And then she thought, I need to mirror this, or I am mirroring, weird word, mirroring. And she said, how am I not doing this for myself? How am I not giving myself the self worth or whatever? Why am I externalizing it? That's probably not a great example. The second example she said was she was at a venue. They're sitting on the floor, and she said the people sitting in front of her were really close, and they weren't giving her space, and she was upset about it. As she closed her eyes and went in, and was like, "How am I not giving myself space?" And then she thought about it, and then I don't know what the fuck the words that made her magically get over it. And she said those people got up and fucked off. It's like that is I mean, interesting thing. So the idea is the world, you are God in your own universe. Nobody else exists, right? So your world is you pushed out. So the only way for you to see inside yourself is how you interact with other people, how you see other people, how you exchange energy with other people, how you see them is how you see you, something in yourself. So, like someone that emotionally abused me calls me emotionally abusive. You know what I mean? That's how it works. So so if I think about like my dating life, I had to go in succession. So I think about like why didn't I meet the perfect person earlier? Why is it that I'm pushing 40 and now like the dating pool is much smaller? Not because I feel like I feel like I'm in more demand now, but I want less people. There are less people that meet my qualifications. So um, obviously, if I met the perfect person earlier in life, I would have fucked it up. And then you have the thought like, oh, did I fuck up something good? I know I did not. I only fucked up bad things. So there's no fuck ups. You can't fuck up here. All your fuck ups are meant to be, which is like silver lining. That's not a great bumper sticker, is it? Now, because I've learned so much, because I've fucked up so much and for so long, now when I'm like looking at other people do their stuff, I'm like, F antsy. Like, hurry up. What the fuck is taking you so long to figure this out? It's like you ever play Monopoly with a child? And it's like 10. One, two. It's just here, here, here. Go here. Just go fucking, let's go. It's here. This is the answer here. You owe me $4,000. Um, that's what it feels like. It's like, can you hurry the fuck up? We both know this is the answer. Why do you have to do this? So you have to go in order, and as I said, each person you're attracted to, and I use the word attraction loosely because I suppose there's different types of attraction. Let me explain this. My high school girlfriend, I had eros attraction with. So like maybe a year before we met, I saw her at a bowling alley, and I was like, that one. There was like an instant you and the betrayal, pastor's daughter, one or whatever. There was philos attraction. I think at any point in our lives, we would have said, well, previously, we would have said, like, this is the person I love, pet drum the most. She would have said it. I would have said it. I would have said I love myself the most also. But it was a different kind of, like, we tried to turn that into a relationship. And it just wasn't, it wasn't hidden. Like, it never, I don't know, I can't speak for her. I did not enjoy being intimate. I did not feel it. And I thought you can just manufacture that feeling. Um, it was like we were, yeah. So by the time we tried to start dating, it was like we were already an old divorced couple. It's like I can't explain why, because she's an objectively beautiful girl and physically attractive. But and I kept thinking there's something wrong with me. I'm not doing something right. I'm seeing something wrong, and I had to go do it, literally, and try to force these two pieces of the puzzle together. It's like, no, 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 this should work. You're my best friend. We love each other. Let's do this. Fucking just shut the fuck up. Just love me, bitch. But she wasn't my person, and we made a huge fucking mistake. Huge fucking mistake. Now, on the subject of mirroring and the worlds you pushed out, so um, I had started my spiritual awakening towards the end of our relationship. So, spiritual awakening meaning individuation. So, there's a certain thing that my culture or my peers or my family expected of me, and I was just fucking being a good boy and doing all the stuff. Um, and then at a certain point, and I was doing what her and her family wanted from me, and I was at in our separation. I was like, who the fuck are these people that tell me what makes me happy? You don't fucking know. You don't know me, bitch. Fuck off. I was really like, it really felt like I was awake. I was like standing up straight for the first time, and they were like, "Come here and fall asleep with us." That was the that was the feeling. Come fall back asleep. We're just gonna avoid the work we have to do, gaslight ourselves into the next life. I heard this term that some people, we're all here to grow. Your soul having a spiritual being having a human experience. So you're here to do this inner journey and inner work and figure yourself out because you're doing it for everybody who refuses. Some people come here and they have a resting life. You're just fucking around. You're just existing. You're consuming resources. You're trying not to stay. You're trying to keep ahead, stay with, keep up with Joneses. I don't know why that was so hard to say. And it's a fucking empty. You need purpose here. If you don't have purpose, what the fuck are you doing? Hmm? I'll wait for an answer. What are you doing? So um, I could see now in retrospect, obviously not at the time, I was just reacting to my emotions. So we would get close and she would require something of me that was like out of bounds to feel whole, to feel loved and safe and blah blah blah. And I would just react. And I was just reacting to stimulus. So like there I talked about it before. There's a time where her dad said something that made it clear that he was using me for money. And he said it loud enough for me to hear. He did it on purpose, and it got a reaction out of me, which is obviously what he wanted. And of course, it validated my inner feeling that I don't have any intrinsic value. So of course, I blamed him for making me feel that way, but he couldn't make me feel that if I didn't already have it. So it just triggered something because the words would have just, you know, would have just bounced off me, rolled off like nothing. But it triggered something that was unhealed in me, which was the purpose of that. is the purpose of me dating her, the purpose of that relationship was to bring up my unhealed trauma, to alchemize it, to see what's in my shadow. So her father was the representation of everything that's in my shadow, in my opinion. So I had a visceral reaction to this guy. After he triggered me, I was like, I'm fucking better looking than you. I'm taller than you. I'm not taller than anybody. I'm fucking well traveled. I'm more educated. I make more money. It's like, how fucking dare you? Who the fuck do you think you are? So it triggered me into my ego. Very interesting thing to see. So obviously, when I was triggering my ego, I'm like violent. I'm fucking dangerous. So would have easily fucked this guy up. By the way, I saw him punching a speed bag, and it was like in slow motion. It would have fucking destroyed this guy. But what the fuck are we talking about? Why do I want to hurt an old man? Because he said words, because he was insecure that I make more money and I'm banging his daughter and stuff like this. It was like if I had zoomed out and saw it for what it was, I would have laughed. But it triggered something unhealed in me, where it pointed out what's unhealed in me. There was pointers the whole time. I just didn't know how to see it. I didn't know what I was looking at. I didn't know how the world works. I didn't know anything about psychology or spirituality. Those two things are necessarily connected. So I felt like I can't explain it. I felt like everything's a spiritual lesson, obviously. So these people, these interactions, this person I dated was meant to show me what's unhealed in me. And once I healed from it, I'm a better version of myself. I'm a stronger version of myself. I'm more resilient. I'm more calm. Um, Temperate and spiritual. Like, if it wasn't for that horrific shit that these people put me through, where would I be? I'd be exactly where I was, like, as a kid, before I knew anything. So it's like your subconscious mind knows these things. It's like, I need to get rid of this inadequacy or this imbalance, and then put someone in front of you to hold up a mirror. And when you look at someone and say they're guarded or they're this or they're this, it's showing you what's going on in you. Because, as I said, there's different types of attraction. And even if you're not physically attracted to somebody, there's a reason that you want the thing. There's a reason you're attracted to the person. So, um, in the pastor's daughter's life, we were trying to work things out. And then there was a guy waiting in the wings taking notes, everything that I did wrong, so he could form himself into what she wanted. So she wanted someone to come to church, um, and basically be her comfort everywhere in life, just like her dog. So instead of doing the inner work, she just surrounds her life with comfort. And I was the path of individuation. She'd have to stand up for herself and tell her family and friends, like, it doesn't matter what you think, this is my person. And she wasn't willing to do that. And she chose to remain unconscious. And when you're unconscious, karma works constantly, and you keep thinking you're a victim to it. You think that bad things are happening to you and it's random, when it's you designing and you're the architect of your misery. So the idea is to get into dharma, which is you're beyond the reach of karma. So um, I realize in retrospect, each relationship was teaching me something that I wasn't doing correctly, or a part of my shadow. And now I watch other people go through what I went through, And I can see what's going to happen. Like no matter what. I don't have any doubt, which is it's a weird thing to be where I'm at. It's like, well, it's just at what time do the masks come off and the shadows come out and the triggering event happens. And then what is learned from that event turns the person into who they're meant to be. So I don't know if I'm done with all my lessons. Obviously, I'm not. I'm not in a committed relationship right now, so I obviously have not. Um, and all I can do, obviously, focus on myself and focus on my own life and where I want to be. But academically, spiritually, it's so interesting. So I feel like the metaphor, like seeing that guy on the side of the road and offering a little bit of help, and then well, he's got to figure it out. Maybe he does have. Maybe I shouldn't have bailed him out of it. Maybe he's fucking up in his life and he needs to work harder or fucking stop fucking around with the car himself or whatever the lesson is. And me saving him essentially would have been a bad thing. Because to me, it doesn't make sense that I didn't do this for him. Uh, how much help is too much help? I think any under any other day, I would have for sure towed his car for him or just handed him a couple $100 to figure it out himself. Maybe rather than a fuck up I wasn't supposed to. In the same way, like watching someone learn their lessons, like I have to, like training wheels off, go do it just like I did. I won't interfere. Good luck. Maybe I'll see you again, maybe not. You know, we're all black today. So it's very interesting. This world I live in is very interesting and the way I see it. So there's a guy at work. His mom is stepmom, dad's girlfriend, is on a TV show, a famous TV show, where women yell at each other. And he got robbed or jumped. And I talked about it where he had a gun sitting next to him at the office. And I said, are you expecting somebody? And we've been having spiritual conversations. He said he was questioning his faith and questioned it from an early age. And he would ask his youth pastor stuff and then his pastor stuff. And they wouldn't have certain answers I have the same questions. So I'm like, well, I have my answer. You shouldn't take my word for it, but this is how. And then everything that I've said, he was saying last night that he gets like a feeling in his stomach, like when I say certain things. And it's like anxiety, fear, but it's not scary. I don't know. He was telling me that he bought sushi, um, takeout, to eat with his girlfriend. And they were sitting in the car and he was like staring into space. And his girlfriend's like, what's wrong? He's like, I can't tell you. And she's like, just try. And he's like, all right, well, there's this guy at work. His name is Matt. And he told me this and this and this. And then she's like, it makes more sense than anything else. Now I'm fucking up an entire generation. Do you want to join my cult? So, He said they finally go inside to eat their sushi, and he said it was 3 hours later. And he was saying that it was more interesting having this conversation with his girlfriend than the plans they had, which was like just watch TV and eat food. I was like, that's. He's like, what do you do in your free time? Like, you don't watch movies and TV. I'm like, I've been watching Game of Thrones. I'm on the last episode, I think. It really took a nosedive at the end there, but at the beginning, like I felt like I could actually disconnect and watch something. I tried to watch like new season of Futurama. I used to love that show. It was written by like astrophysicists, so it had smart, intelligent humor, and they brought it back with probably a bunch of blue haired fucking writers, and it's Amazon, iPhone. It's like just fucking lazy, topical bullshit. It's like we're 3,000 years in the future. Tell me future shit. Give me like the old writers used to like they'd have random bits of binary code and it would actually mean something. Easter eggs. And I can't like it's on. I have no idea what the fuck's happening. Like it's the same characters I remember and love, and they sound the same, but it doesn't feel the same. What's interesting was like when I tried to go back to a relationship that didn't serve me anymore. Like, oh, you look like her, but you don't feel like her. Um, universe tells you to move on in no uncertain terms. I suppose you could still stay if you wanted. So with the pastor's daughter, she had to choose between a guy who's willing to just simp for her, do everything she wanted him to do. He's reaching, and she's settling. And then with me, it would be the opposite. She'd have to improve, or at least try harder in life. Um, and the idea of going against her culture and her upbringing and becoming her own person or being the leader in her family, which she was supposed to be. So the family, she's the only person who went to like a real college. She was, she was like, they raised her right in the sense that you raise the next generation to be better than us, but you do that so they lead us. They raised her to be better than them, but then they kept her capped. Like we want you to exceed other people, but not us. So she got she went to UCLA, but had an English degree. Who can't fucking do that? And she said she's a Latina on her thing, the whitest person you've ever seen. Just to get past that demographic barrier, and then since then has done nothing. Just kind of floating around. Like no learning has been done, no growth as a person. Same cycle. Sunday we sit in church. I scroll through Instagram. We go eat afterwards. Everyone says good job, and then it felt like that was literally the devil saying, "Come to this version of hell." I could not do it. I tried. Like I sat there and I can see none of them believe in it. It's like, why do you need me to believe in it if you don't believe in it? And it's like, okay, so I can read the words on the page, but how you live and act is conflicts with this. Can you explain the also like on Easter when everybody ran into the yard and started looking for eggs? I'm like, show me in the book where it says this. Why? What are you guys doing? It's just unconscious people who the only comfort they get is when other people join and validate them. It's all external. It's like there's no God in this equation. It's just egos and absence of God. Like if God came down and said, "Excuse me, I think you guys are doing this wrong," they'd be like, "No, no, you don't know." So weirdly, I feel like I'm in a somewhat similar situation where it's like someone has to grow to meet me where I'm at, and I called it out when we met. Like, I can't be in your life unless you're working on yourself. I like we. I only connect with people when they're doing the work. It's like we have real conversations and we have a real connection. We have a real friendship. These like lower level meaningless combos, it doesn't do it for me. Hard for me to sustain. We're still friends, but it's just different. I don't know what to tell you. It's so who I'm talking about has to decide if they're going to be the hero in their own journey or settle and try to remain unconscious, which is again it's a normal part of it. It's like once my consciousness sparked, I didn't want it. You're alone. Nobody understands you. Your family, your friends, you're speaking a different language. So even when I talk about what I'm going through, other people have strong opinions about me doing something wrong. And it's like you don't understand. I'm not just I'm not following my heart blindly into something. I'm telling you I'm divinely guided to something. I'm following instructions from a higher power. Everybody shut the fuck up. I have to do it. Even if I get hurt, I have to do it. And it doesn't, like I'm not closed off. My heart is open. I look for signs and synchronicities. If God wants me to move on, I'll move on. If He introduces me to someone that is worth my time, absolutely, I would be stupid to say no to that. But I feel strongly that God had a plan to temper me into a spiritual guided teacher for people who are ready, an alchemist. I I think that's why I went through the things I went through, and like it's fucking hard. It's fucking hard because I'm still a human being. I still have yeah, my lower nature, my human nature. But I know this other thing it's more real than anything else. It's more important than anything else. So it's not blindly following it, but I have to follow it. I believe that if I do the right things for me in my life, God takes care of the big stuff. I don't have to worry about the war in Israel. I don't have to worry about fucking. I just have to do what I need to do. So, um, I a lot of the stuff that I don't journal about, I can't journal about. Um, like I can't forget that I live in a different world than most people. I've had different experiences in it, and I know that there is more to the world than what we see and what we feel that's tangible. And it's like almost like on a daily basis, I forget that. I have to forget it so I can live as a normal human being, go to work and fucking get my errands done and shit. But there's a deeper meaning to life here. I know that, and everything happens for a reason. And if I have the ability to see and experience life in a different way than most people. That means I have responsibility. It would necessarily mean that God chose me for something, or I chose myself and volunteered for it. I don't imagine that I was forced into it. God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. Um, yeah, if you could stop sending people to hurt me for lessons, that would be great. Um, but again, I wouldn't. None of the things that hurt me in the past have any power over me now, and because I survived it, I don't regret it because I got the lesson. I'm a slow fucking learner, but I learned. It took me a long time. And I think it's because I didn't have a spiritual teacher, I didn't have anybody who's gone through it to say there's light at the end of the tunnel. Everybody seems lost. Everybody in the world seems lost. Most of all, the people that speak for God. Those people seem the farthest from the truth, from figuring it out. So, like, as a human being, what do? You just constantly hit the sides until you hit rock bottom, basically. There's no, you wouldn't know otherwise. You're the first person to do it. So I suppose it feels like I'm the first person to wake up and then I'm waiting for other people to catch up. So the things that people are worried about, oh, the hurricane and fucking the economy and blah, 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 I'm like, everything's going to be fine. I'm not worried about any of that shit. And I suppose that's because of the things I've been through. There's a certain peace that, although I have that lizard brain that fight or flight wants to come back out because I was programmed to be in fight or flight. Um, and it's really hard to temper it back down still, despite everything I know. I'm kind of like, I know something spiritually. I have to wait for the 3D world to catch up. It's just like I said, it's here, here, here. Here, go here. One, the two, three. Have to start over. One. So I tell you what, when I met my most recent ex, I saw she was really attached to her pain. And I thought, like, I know exactly who you are because that's who I was. Let me help you. Let me show you. And my mistake was I lowered my vibration, I suppose, to match hers, and then tried to like take steps back to be where I was. And I think that's not how it works. It's getting brighter. Um, Obviously, it's not how it works. Um, when we met, I was like, "You're going to blame me for all of your emotions, like everything that you feel and think. Your emotions are the truth, and then I'll be the bad guy, and I don't want to do this." Um, but I felt guided and compelled to at least try. Like too many synchronicities, too many times she kept popping back up, and I was like, "Hey, I can't ignore that. Everything happens for a reason. If she keeps popping up, there's a reason." And although on the outside, the most unhealed person, like out of, I could see what was inside. I recognized it because it so closely mirrored me. And I was like, how hard do I have to work to get to that? To get like this rare love hidden inside this person, locked away. She's afraid to show anybody. And I had to be willing to take a lot of abuse, frankly. What the fuck was that? When someone hands me a flyer, it's like they're saying, "Here, you throw this away." So I literally made a decision. I was like, even if it hurts, I'm going to try. And that's where I'm at. And I don't, like, even as friends, she's a very important person to me and has been instrumental in my own growth. Definitely our paths were supposed to cross. So without the without the gift of seeing the future, I have an idea of what's going to happen and when. Well, when maybe not, but um, I know what she's going through, having been through it, having seen other people go through it, having knowledge of spiritual path, spiritual awareness. She's meant to learn something from uh, and either step into her power or decide to be unconscious. My feeling, she's not going to be unconscious. My feeling, I keep saying it, she's smarter than I am. So I think it won't take her as long as it did take me. I think that she will run circles around me spiritually as soon as we're at eye level, she's going to surpass me. Like whatever she is, whatever supernatural gifts or power are latent in people, she has more of it than I do. Like I know that. And I just have to wait for her to do her things and then we can talk about it. And then when we have conversations about psychology, about the things in people in life, the realizations you had, it's like the most it felt so, first of all, vindicating. It's like I fucking knew you had it. I knew you were just playing dumb, you bitch. Um, and then now, she just like sprinted into lesson, lesson, lesson. And then, you know what happened yesterday? I was driving. I was listening. I only listen to stuff on YouTube. I pay for YouTube Premium, so no ads. And then Spotify pops up and starts playing her playlist. I was like, what the fuck? I've never opened Spotify in my life. And she had logged in on my phone with her account, and then it started playing her music. So like initially, I'm just like, the radio changes, and I just press the skip button, and then it moves, and it moves back, and I'm like, skip, skip, skip. What the fuck's going on? And then I had to like close and reopen. Then I'm listening to my stuff, like Zen stuff. Um, it was talking about people who, instead of doing the work, they come here to have a resting life. They just waste their time on Earth, just fucking numbing themselves till the end. And then again, the Spotify popped up again. And I've never experienced that before. I was like, is she on a plane flying over me and it fucking connected to my Bluetooth? What the fuck is this? Um, anyways, I thought that was strange. I don't know if there's any significance to it. I don't remember what song was playing, but that was weird. I don't know how that happens. So I think she's also supposed to be in New York, so I don't know. Maybe she didn't go on her trip. Anyways, um, I don't know how long her next lesson is going to take. So I don't know how long we're not going to be on speaking terms. But I don't imagine that we'll never talk again. And then at the same time, like, obviously I have to be okay if that's the case. I will be okay regardless, but um, I know that spiritually speaking, one of my lessons has always been patience. That was confirmation. Um, I am impatient. It's like I like don't care how I want it now. Um, but these types of spiritual lessons, there's divine timing, and you can't rush it. Can't hurry, love. No, you just have to wait. I can't wait to install a radio in my old car so I can listen to oldies, exclusively oldies. I think the motor is blown. This motherfucker sold me a fucked up car, and I want to punch him. Cylinder 3 misfire. I changed the plugs and coils, still cylinder 3 misfire, and it's bad. Now I'm thinking the motor's fucked. Probably have to change injectors next, but whatever. Everything happens for a reason. I'll put a turbo motor in it if it's fucked. Let's go fast. So, anyways, I think that's like some kind of, you know, laying in bed. Like last night, I got tired finally at it was like 10, and I was like, I think I could go to sleep instead of midnight or something. I was like, thank God, I'm like more of a normal schedule. And then lay down, like brush my teeth and stuff. And then when I laid down, I was like praying, thank you God for this, thank you God for that, doing some I am and affirmations, and then trying to drift to sleep thinking about like manifesting money and fucking stuff. And then I wake up with like this realization. I was like, oh, what she's doing is what I did. Oh, this is what's happening. And it kind of, oh, like the threat level went down. What is that? Is that not God telling me something? I keep getting ringing in my right ear. What does that mean? And then maybe I have a brain tumor. But I was thinking that if you receive knowledge from a higher realm, maybe it just sounds like that. Why can't you speak English though? Just say the words. Be cool, bro. Or on this day. So today is October 10th, 10/10. 10/10, 24. That's 8, 9, 10. That's 10, 10, 10. So it's a 1. It's a new beginning. Um, I tried to listen to something about, like these. What confuses me is, first of all, Octo is supposed to be the 8th month. So I don't know who the fuck named the things and numbered them, but there's a discrepancy here. So it's put a hole in numerology and astrology for me. Because it's like, okay, we should have 12 months of equal days or something, and instead of, I don't know who decided these things to know if it's accurate, but I don't know if anything happened on the August 8th portal. I suppose things happened afterwards. And then 9/9, again, I don't know. 10/10 now, I don't know. But why not mention it and then we'll see together if there's a thing. it really feels like there's an indent here, and there ain't. They hate us because they ain't us. Like it, there's nothing here, but it fucking looks like it. When I was little, it was red like this. I had some kind of like Harry Potter mark, and I think this mole is where it was. So it was a little off center. So my mom had my hair long to cover it, and to cover it, she said I had big ears. She would tell everybody this: cover his ears because they're big. Fuck you, mom. Yours are small. Go fuck yourself. I can hear you. Um, I had to grow into them. I look at people if they have attached ears or loosey goosey earlobes like me. This is obviously superior. Attached people can't do this. Um, from what I understand, my nose and ears will grow until infinity. So something to look forward to. Um, I'm rambling. Another thing that's happening. I so get a call from this guy. He's like, I heard good things about you. My car's fucked up. I have a new engine in it, and can you help me fix it? It used to be fast. It's not fast. So I tuned it for him. He's saying it's still not fast. He takes it to my friend's shop, and then going back and forth and testing things over the course of a couple of weeks, we find out there's a pinched line, and then now it works and everything's fine. But because we kept going back and forth and it kept getting worse and worse, um, he came up to me from San Diego and we had a really good spiritual conversation. He was talking about how, like, people chase the empty things in life. And he was talking about, like, the elite. He's like, so I can, he was saying that he can see how, like, with Diddy and stuff, like, when all the hot women throw themselves at you, then you probably want something else. And then when that's not enough, you want something else, and then it keeps going. And then he's like, these things that they say that they're doing, he's like, I can see how that's probably what's happening. And imagine for generations if that's true. It's like you're born into wealth. You don't have to work for anything. You're just everything's handed to you. Like that's textbook narcissism, right? And narcissists don't give a fuck about other people. So the I think a lot of the suffering in the world is designed by those people. The only joy they get is from the suffering of other people. Energy vampires. So whether that's a figurative or literal thing, if it's a spiritual thing or just a 3D thing, like I think that's how the world works. So this guy kind of thinks the same thing. So we had a good. I mean, he texted me afterwards. He's like, honestly, it was like that was the best conversation I've had in a long time. Can we get lunch someday? Can I leave a review for you somewhere? Stuff like this. So I'm gonna go to get my fucking braces again. Third time clear aligners, fifth time total. Because OCD. That's why my hair has to be perfect. My beard has to be perfect. It's really a fucking problem. Thank God I make money. So I'm gonna do that. Then take him to a Persian restaurant and have another spiritual conversation with someone who's thinking. I enjoy when people have independent thought or question things against the grain. Makes me feel like it's a real person, you know? Okay. Um, I keep thinking, what if I'm missing something as far as like my spiritual lessons? I suppose. I mean, we'll see. Um, I think in this time also I'm supposed to hold space for other people. And I wonder if I'm not holding space for myself. So this weekend I have plans, but I think next weekend, I was thinking about it last night. It's like there's always something to do, and I'm just going to stay home, see if I can be alone, maybe meditate, and just make sure I'm not neglecting myself. Maybe there's something I'm missing. So I go do that. Um, Thanks for watching. Thanks for being with me on my journey, and wish me luck. I don't think I need luck, frankly. What's luck? Favor from God? God already favors me, can't you tell? Thanks, God. All right, off I go. Hold off,